Squirtle shouldn't have got nerfed.
Squirtle didn't get nerfed, dickhead.
I'm sorry, Squirtle.
Alright, what's up guys? Charles here, I'm with Tweek, and we are going to talk about Pokemon Trainer. So obviously, you were one of the first players to really premiere the character in a tournament environment, right? It's funny, I remember going over to the loft and like, you coming up to me and you're like, dude, Pokemon Trainer's broken. And I was like, what? Yeah. And then you just edgeguarded me with Ivysaur for a couple hours. I was like, wow, this character's bullshit. How was the beginning experience of Pokemon Trainer and like, I guess your personal journey with the character, right?
So I picked up PT at first because, you know, I was playing the game and watching the game a lot, and PT was really common and doing really well too.
A lot of top 32s. Like,
yeah.
It felt like the Rob, right? Where it's like, you would always see
what
PT.
Rob is now, just not as extreme. There was a handful of them doing well, and I just saw a lot of potential to like, I was like, this character could even win the whole bracket. So I just decided to pick it up myself, and it just went, you know, farther than I could have anticipated. Yeah. It became like, you know, my main character, which is pretty rare because I play a lot of characters, and I usually don't play a character at the forefront of my game plan or for that long.
Yeah, it was a while. Yeah, the legendary pop-off against the Buzz. Your guys' rivalry, man.
That was my first big tournament after picking them up, I think.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So
I think for you,
I think that
like
pop-off was like all of that. Like, okay, like all this practice paid off.
Now, obviously, this character did receive hefty nerfs. At first, surface level though, a lot of the community didn't think the nerfs were that bad, right? Yeah. Remember? I remember talking.
I don't think I thought they were that bad.
No, yeah. I remember talking to you, and I think we were both on the train of like, you know what? Overall, it's a nerf, but I think this character is still gonna be the same amount of strength. Essentially, they buffed Charizard, but then they nerfed Ivysaur.
Yeah. Razor Leaf got a frame or two, and like
the Wolf Blaster treatment.
Yeah. Vine Whip is the sweet spot's weaker. Down air is weaker.
Yeah. Down air's hitbox for the sweet spot is smaller, right?
Yeah. So I think the nerfs were a big deal. You'll like down air someone at like 70 and they like live. If it's like sour spot and stuff, which it usually is, right? The move is so consistent because it's so big, but the big part is like the sour spot. Razor Leaf was a little unnecessary because I don't think that move is that good.
It's a pretty meh projectile.
I think the
confirm's off it, but you need to drift in to get a good confirm, right? So.
Yeah, I think the reasonable nerf was Vine Whip because it was just like ridiculously strong.
People were getting cheesed at like 40-50%.
Yeah, they would just
no
die.
Sense. Yeah.
Like it wouldn't even kill screen. Sometimes the game would just end. It was like, it just felt super unintended. Yeah. I think the other two were unnecessary. Executing the down air nerf differently or something. I don't know. It's hard to say, but I think it was a little overboard. And then Razor Leaf I felt like didn't have to happen at all. You know, maybe it's just me being biased from playing the character. Okay, then there's the Charizard buffs, which are great.
Forward throw, ledge trapping.
He has a great
with shield.
He has a large grab and ledge trapping. You can just forward throw neutral get ups at 100 plus.
You're dead.
Who else can really say that? As consistent as Charizard. Yeah. Like Incineroar has a good one, but does he have a great out of shield like above him that kills 2? His grab probably isn't as large either.
Pit kind of with like the DI
like
now, but like so now it's very rare.
Yeah, like there's situations where it's a threat, but his is just so good. Like it kills super early. His other options kill super early. Nair is just a really good neutral tool now because I think it has less lag. Looking back at it, I think the character would have fallen off regardless.
Really? I was actually about to kind of ask you that question. If Pokemon Trainer was not nerfed, you think the character still would have fallen off?
Yes.
Okay, wow.
I can't say for sure how much, but I think it would be more comparable to what the character is now, surprisingly. I think they would fall off harder than people would expect. Development of Ultimate more than the nerfs too.
I feel like Ivysaur, year 1 of Ultimate, you had a very straightforward strategy, and people were bad at playing around that strategy. It was more of like a skill check, you know what I mean? Like
when I think about my approach when I fight PT and my struggles I have had as PT before and after nerfs, I think they would have existed no matter what. It's so hard to say because we're in a reality where they did get nerfed, and I'm trying to put myself in a reality where they didn't.
Yeah, it's weird because like how much recoveries would have gotten validated, how many cheesy stalks from up B would there have been, right? Like realistic to me, Pokemon Trainer was Ivysaur.
And that's why I think they would have fallen off though.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think Ivysaur isn't that great of a character with or without the nerfs.
Yeah.
I think the game developed, patches happened, characters came out, players got better. I think the character wouldn't be top tier regardless of nerfs or not. Vine Whip was pretty OD.
Yeah.
But I don't think that changed the fact that it would be really easy to avoid the confirms with or without.
At the end of the day, IV neutral was IV neutral, right?
Yeah. Like I still think the character's great. I actually I have a tier list ready. We're gonna do a tier list episode on the show.
Right.
I have a tier list I made, and I still have them very high, like top 25.
Top 25.
Like they're
solid,
one of the
solid high tier.
They're like one of the best high tier characters to me. I just don't think they're top tier anymore.
I agree
good.
in
They're
a
good.
sense where like even if you have them, I feel like they're a character where you're gonna put them like 15 through 25. Like to me, Pokemon Trainer is like a gatekeeper top tier,
I think their biggest problems are so simple and universal.
which is a big issue.
Yeah, like I guess this is some stuff that if people are knowledgeable, they already know. I don't think they actually complement each other too well, especially Squirtle to Ivy. No airspeed, no ground speed. So they have similar, they're surprisingly gonna lose to a lot of similar situations. And then Charizard has no airspeed but ground speed. So that's good, but I don't think that's enough. The idea of the character is like, you fit the situation, right?
Right.
What Pokemon do I need for this situation? But technically you don't have the tools for any situation in my opinion.
Right.
I think their disadvantage today is horrendous. I think Switch is not, this is another thing that was great early on in the game.
When everyone didn't know their combos.
They would overcommit, they would overshoot, they would switch, Pokemon Trainer would get below you, reversal or something.
Yeah.
But now it's like, you throw out a move, they switch, and you like frame trap them.
Yeah, you treat it like a Smash 4 air dodge.
Yeah, you're just resetting. And this combined with the lack of airspeed and stuff, and the Switch halting your airspeed, like PT is often in the same spot, and it's really easy to track them when you're hitting them. And then this connects to even getting edge guarded by some characters, getting ledge trapped by every character.
Yeah.
They have a really hard. They have Ivysaur has some gimmicks, Charizard has some gimmicks, but
Barrett 60.
like
that's it.
they have a hard time out of the corner. They have a hard time getting off the ledge. They have a hard time with disadvantage state. They have a hard time in neutral against a lot of characters. You hear a lot of like Young Link is an example where like there's just a barrage of stuff, and which Pokemon like has an answer to that? None of them.
Yeah.
Like on paper, right? Like, so that's my problem with the character. I think their gameplay is really simple, and then some of their problems are really, really simple and easy to understand. So I don't think the character has that much depth. Like, I don't think they're difficult to play, but I think that comes at a cost where they have a high peak.
It's crazy too because I remember when you first started picking up Trainer, before you even won anything with them, one of the big things for you that was like a catcher, like
It was interesting.
It's 3 characters. The amount of depth is endless and stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like each of them play in such a simple way that there are characters that are just one character that have way more depth. Like Diddy Kong has way more depth than Pokemon Trainer,
Like
and it's
all
just
of them
one character.
combined, yeah. I think they're an easy character just because coincidentally all 3 Pokemon are extremely easy. Like so easy to play, like it's so easy to understand. But it's like it comes at a cost because I think you can pick them up and play them if you're a knowledgeable player. They just reach a plateau so fast to me.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know this, but I actually started coaching Gavin at the tail end of Pokemon Trainer. We actually had to have that discussion of like, are you playing this character anymore? And of course, like, especially back then, I was super biased towards Wolf, so I'm like, dude, just play Wolf, right? Like, well, and like, even when I thought about just you as a player, I was like, what does Gavin like, right? So I'm looking at Wario, it's like, you clearly like you like being in the air, and you like these these tight air mix-ups, right? Where you get like, you microspace, or just like, you do this little drift in, but then like fake out, like the micro movement in the air. And which is why, at around Big House actually, that's when we saw Gavin kind of bring out the Wolf again versus, I believe it was like Zachary, the Rob, like there's a bunch of matchups. I believe he got like 5th at that tournament. But the Wolf started coming back and the PT was starting to like,
Yeah.
And I think the
Like I was
biggest thing for
switching.
you,
I lost the Zachary PT, I think.
yes, and the thing that you mentioned, you're like, it's so hard to get around top because I don't have anything to move around.
Yeah.
Like you don't have the mobility to move around, and like Switch is not that great because it's still, the thing about Switch is you stop moving in the air. So when you come back out, you have no air
Re-accelerate.
drift.
You
So
have
you
to
have to
accelerate
re-accelerate
again.
again. Because of that, it's like so easy to frame trap Switch, and
Yeah.
I think for you, it's a very valuable tool to have a good disadvantage and good air mobility, or something. Like there needs to be some kind of compensation
Yes.
for some kind of consistency, right? And I
Looking
think that's
back
where
on it,
kind of pinpoint.
there's definitely stuff I learned within the game's mechanics that would have helped in these situations, like dealing with gyro on the ground and stuff, but I still think a lot of my points still stand. I learned like dash attack, cancel IM tosses, so I would just like, if I was doing that now, I would just dash attack it with Squirtle, cancel it into the toss, and just like throw it. So like that's nice rather than like committing to a huge decision, but
Right.
the pros and cons are both simple, and I feel like that's a huge issue for me when I play them. And when I play against them, I just feel like, regardless of how good a player is, I feel like I know what's going to happen. Whether I'm getting hit or hitting them, or whether
It's like when you fight Rob. Like, you know the character's
what's
really
gonna
strong,
happen. Yeah, like I know what's going to happen. I guess to like move away from negativity, there's some really strong players playing the character.
Quid's amazing.
I'm thoroughly impressed with Quid and Atelier. The character's great. Like, and when I mentioned like my tier list placement, like pretty high. It's not like best of the best.
Right.
That's also where I have like Diddy, or like Byleth, like A tier, high tier characters, whatever you want to call it. I play Diddy. I do well in tournaments.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Leo plays Byleth. Leo does really well in tournaments. Like PT is around that realm. Like I don't want it to sound like I think PT is like not capable of doing well.
Yeah.
PT can definitely do well, but there's really hard matchups. The character is clearly outdated.
That's a good word. Yeah.
Day one to now, like there's definitely clearly better picks, and PT has definitely plateaued in depth while other characters haven't, or other characters are just better. Roy's a character that's as simple as PT, but Roy's just way stronger.
Right. I think the plan is just way more clear cut. Right?
Yeah, watching Quid's consistency is really impressive. Atelier is really strong. So, and the character is really cool, regardless of simplicity or something. Like
Gen 1, baby.
Like yeah, the character's concept is great. Like, I just love Pokemon's my favorite franchise. So like,
I think that's another reason why you stuck with them for so long.
Yeah. Like,
you know what I mean? Like, because even when I started coaching, I'm like, man, why the fuck does Tweek play PT?
Yeah.
Like none of these tools make sense. But obviously, you're just a good player, so you made it work.
It was just a really strange coincidence because, like I said, it all started because I was interested by how well the character was doing early on. And I thought it could go even farther.
Well, early Ultimate,
it
right?
Just stuck.
Our curiosity was so like driven by the game, right? It's like, oh shit, like PT's in the game and they're not dog shit. Like you remember them and Brawl, they're trash. So it was cool to like see PT thrive in a tournament environment and just you dabbling in it. It was really cool to see the growth.
Yeah, I think something interesting about me picking up characters, I think a lot of people see me as the person who like picks up a character and like figures them out or like figures something out for a tournament or like
you've innovated a lot of characters.
Some sort of like something like that. But I think what starts is usually I see someone else do something interesting and I just branch off of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happened with PT. Even with a character like Diddy too, I was just generally interested in Diddy. I see a bunch of players doing cool things and I try to mesh it all in and then branch out. So like, that's how I got into Smash. I was watching people do cool things or creative things, and I just tried to emulate it and then put my own twist on it or just find something else along the way.
Right.
And with PT, I was just seeing the results, and I've been playing Smash long enough to see that they could do even better. It went way farther than I imagined. Like they ended up becoming my main character. So. I sometimes forget I made them because it sprouted from a idea that usually is just me playing Elite Smash for a couple days.
Yeah, which is fun.
But then I look back and I'm like, oh, I actually, like, when people have to remind me I played them and it, like, sparks, like, oh, yeah, I did.
I actually think you have
it was a
lot
while
of
ago
fans,
now.
too, because of PT. Like, being the best PT, I feel like, comes with, like, a huge fan base. You're like, yo, you're the Pokemon GOAT. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, people love Pokemon. Like, that's true. Like, some people wouldn't be as invested with Smash, but they're invested with Pokemon Trainer in Smash.
Yeah, exactly,
like,
or just
like,
Pokemon in Smash.
Yeah, like, they just like Pokemon, so it definitely helped a lot. I got questions about PT this weekend, and it was day one. So.
Oh, well. One final question. How many times has someone asked you to play PT again?
Oh my god.
It's got to be in the 4 digits, right? Like over 1,000.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
even
mean,
way more than that.
If you think about in-person events, Twitch chat. I mean, most of it's probably Twitch chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, some of it's probably social media, even if I haven't noticed. A lot of people think of it as my character because it was just I think it was an important time for Ultimate too. The game was developing. Like Evo was is probably the biggest tournament of Smash, and I did well at that tournament. With I think I only played PT. So
yeah, you're solo PT, that's it.
So character, timeline,
everything just matched.
Probably TSM guy too.
Yeah.
I think it all meshed into that being my image. Like I think a lot of people. It's funny because I think people who know me, it's like Tweek. Characters come after, but I feel like a lot of people at that time was like PT Tweek.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And that was weird because usually I was really flexible with character picks, but yeah, for a while it was all about PT.
All right, well, let us know what you guys think about PT in the comments. Tweek will never play that character again, so quit asking him and peace out.
That was so funny.